Cascarilla is a protective substance used in a variety of folk magic traditions, including Santeria, Hoodoo, and other African Caribbean religions. Join me as I prepare a small batch today because I have a huge amount of the resources to build it. Before we get started, a quick history on Cascarilla, what it is, where it came from. First, Cascarilla has had three major forms throughout history. First, it wasn't even referred to as Cascarilla. It was a form of white soil common in certain regions of Africa used in ritual purposes. As the tribes who inhabited those regions moved, they could no longer access that soil. So they moved on to the Cascarilla tree, or the sweet bark tree. This plant bark that when powdered is a very white substance that they could use in similar ways to that white soil. As they moved from the African regions where this tree is present and the Caribbean to the continental United States, this changed again because it was harder to get access to this plant and the bark. So they replaced it with eggshells. So eggshells you can powder and will also create a white powder that can be used in the same ways. I have built up a lot because I eat a lot of eggs, so I save the shells so that I can repurpose them to not waste. I am a big proponent of using everything you can. I have some B-roll footage of me actually grinding some up with a mortar where I will explain its uses. Cascarilla is used for two primary purposes. First is to negate and remove negative energy, or also known as purification. The second is to make a separation between the regular and supernatural worlds. Because of these traits, Cascarilla can be used in many ritual purposes. The form that I most often use it is in a powder. As a powder, Cascarilla can be used to create and maintain boundaries. For myself, I begin by cleansing the surfaces of my threshold and windows, or any other area that is a permanent fixture, and I cleanse them with Chinese wash and 4 thieves oil. Once I have finished cleansing the area and the surfaces have dried, I sprinkle a small amount of Cascarilla in a line to form a protective boundary. I have also seen powdered Cascarilla used to isolate items during rituals or to purify ritual participants. When used to purify a person, it is often a much finer powder that is rubbed onto the skin of the neck and shoulders to perform a purification of the individual. The other form that Cascarilla is most oftenly found as a chalk. Cascarilla powder can be pressed into blocks and then be used as chalk. This is often used when you need to draw sigils or designs on ritual objects and participants. It can also be used in any other way you would use chalk or soot as a writing implement for a ritual purpose. There are other variations of Cascarilla that can be used. I have also seen it added to baths, to oil mixtures, and other topical ingredients or topical products. I am not an expert on those uses, so I will only mention that they are used in other ways, but I am most familiar with using it as either a protective barrier powder or as a chalk. Thank you for joining me today as I worked through some of my large supply of eggshells making some Cascarilla, and until next time, walk in the light.